Meltdown presents The Disney Click with Rick and Briars. This podcast is sponsored by Meltdown Comics and Collectibles in Hollywood, California. Find Meltdown on meltcomics.com.
Hey guys, welcome to the Disney Click.
Welcome back.
Briars is starting off this episode with a giggle. I don't know what that's about. We're happy to have you.
I love the holidays.
Yeah, I say maybe it's our holiday episode, our holiday
Christmas
preview.
cheer.
It's not our holiday episode in the sense, but it's a holiday preview. We are going to go over.
We're going to rock
Disney
your
holidays.
world.
This is the all holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever else happens this time of year, New Year.
Viva Navidad.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Oh, love it. So what we have today on our Disney list is we're just calling it Top Disney Holiday. And
Top 5.
Yeah, top
Disney
5
holiday.
Disney holiday. And these are
That's
things
trademarked. We're working on it.
because nobody else has ever
trademarked.
done a top 5 list.
Top
it's
5
ours, people.
Disney Click as a whole
okay.
saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going over the top 5 things that say holidays to us from all things Disney.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Disney list. And then after that, we're gonna really kind of take a trip around the Disneyverse and explore what they have going on or what they have had go on for the holidays. This coming year and years past and all that good stuff. So this is get your jingle bells out. It's a little bit early here. I don't, but it's after Halloween, so I think we're okay. So
and the Disney holidays in the parks last 60 days.
Yeah.
So I think
we're
we
safe.
can air
We're
this
safe.
episode within the 60-day period.
Okay.
Safely.
All
I
right.
hope.
I think we're okay.
Disney loves them some holidays.
Yes, they do. Oh, I love me some holidays too.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite time in the
That's
park.
Why I'm laughing. That's why I'm chuckling.
Okay, we're happy. All right,
Inner holiday joy.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
And now, the Disney List.
Okay, so our top 5 this week is Disney holiday. And this is anything that Rick or I loves about Disney in the parks holidays, or if we have a favorite Disney holiday movie. Yeah. And I have to just do a disclaimer because I realized while creating this list that all my Disney memories as a child and trips to the park, we never went over the holidays.
Which is amazing to me. We talked briefly. We don't discuss our list once again, but we did talk about this little element to it. To me, my love of the parks happened the holiday. That's when we had time off from school. That's when the family was together. So while I've been many other times away from holiday time,
to World, you mean?
To World or Land, but World is where I grew up going to.
Right.
My first experience with Disney World was holiday time. So that's what it's about for me.
I've got to give a shout out to my parents here in props though, because they bought the books that had all the crowd reports, and they literally would pick the week that had like lowest crowds and take off and plan ahead. And so we always had amazing crowds.
If they were really, really great parents, they would have picked that like week after Thanksgiving.
We did that one time.
Oh, so you have been for the holiday. That is holidays then.
No, we did Halloween, like right around Halloween.
Right. Back then it probably wasn't super Halloween-y yet.
No, it was we did like where the park was closed, and I just remember you went trick-or-treating at each of the rides.
Right.
Like,
that's cool.
It was like the ride was a house, and you got I was like, I'm getting candy and
Was that
going on Splash Mountain. Like,
not so
my
scary?
brain couldn't handle it.
Not so scary Halloween party?
This would have been early 90s.
Right.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm sure it was maybe something that no longer exists.
But the point being that the holiday time at Disney World and Disneyland have a very, very special place in my heart. It's
they have no place in there. No.
It's my favorite time of year to be there. I don't like the crowds. Drive me insane. But I love the holiday decorations and the feel of the holiday time that I don't care about the crowds. It's one time a year that the crowds generally don't bother me so much because I love just being there.
You take that journey that Scrooge takes in A Christmas Carol. And
Scrooge is from The Christmas Carol? Is that what it's from? That was a joke.
I was like,
yeah, no, I know that. And I was.
Oh, okay. When I was just telling I was trying to help.
It was just a joke
out.
on a.
But it confused me a lot because I was
Sorry.
like, I am known to like misquote and just throw out the wrong characters.
We've established Scrooge is from a Christmas
terrible
Carol.
memory, so that's
Scrooge McDuck, right? You know.
Oh yeah, the is that the Donald Duck version?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're killing me.
Sorry.
I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I was saying you have the transformation that Scrooge has, and you're lifting Tiny Tim into the air, and you're like, I don't mind the crowds. God bless them,
Right.
everyone. No, but I was going to say, so I've had a pass now, transitioning out of that funness. I have had a pass to Disneyland now for 3+ years, and I've gotten to experience the holidays now for the past few years, and I now have so much appreciation. I mean, not that I didn't before. I just
let me ask: is it your, without getting into specifics until we get to the list, but is it your favorite time of the year at the parks, crowd aside, or not?
Any time from October 1st, or from once they start Halloween,
Right.
Halloween through Christmas, I would just tie it all as one. I'm happy
Is your
it all,
favorite.
it ties out. So like I'm good going when it's Halloween or when it's like fall, Thanksgiving, or Christmas.
Yeah.
That's
It's your
definitely
favorite.
my
Okay.
favorite. I love it too though because the weather, like when it's
You like when it
cooler
gets
and
cooler.
cold, and wearing a sweater at Disney, I love it.
Yeah, we were discussing this a little bit earlier. Like it's hands down my favorite time of the year. I used to like Halloween better, but over the past couple visits, in terms of during the holiday time, I think I've started to appreciate, the winter holiday time,
Mhm.
Christmas and New Year a little
Really,
more.
it's fun. at
It's
Disney.
pretty. It's really. They pull out all the stops, and there's just certain
Yeah.
smells that go along with it.
When I
and-
don't know, to us maybe living in Los Angeles, there's nowhere else. I mean, obviously people decorate and people get into it, but like there's something where it's so immersive and you're inside the park and every corner of every shop is drenched in holly and
Right.
and the colors, and they light the tree every night. And it's like they're like, if in case you forgot what month it is or like where you're living right now, it's Christmas. And so it like really hits you.
I think it's almost the cultural Christmas time place to be in all of Southern California. I think
Mhm.
when I think
nowhere else is.
well, I mean,
is
I think a lot of
going
people
all out.
I think a lot of people think of other places and they have their own personal memories. But if you think of the collective Southern California experience and you think holiday time, forget about your Christmas tree in your house or whatever your personal memory is.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people, it's like a
Go to
tradition to,
Disney,
think
yeah.
Disney at Christmas time, holidays
Yeah.
at Disneyland.
Well, I wonder too if that because it's so close to Los Angeles in a big city and you have so many annual pass holders. I was reading that Disneyland is the most heavily decorated of all the parks at Christmas time. I don't know, like if that's how they got that as a fact. Because I think Disney World people tend to go more, and this is what we did as a family. We would go one time every 2 years, and that was our trip. And so
Right.
we're not going trying to like squeeze out our holiday time. We're going and it's Disney time. Whereas here you have all these families that grow up going from Laguna Beach or, anywhere in Anaheim and
San Diego,
LA, all
LA,
over.
San
Yeah,
Francisco,
that's
Arizona,
so
Utah.
accessible.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so for them, it's like traditions come more to
Yeah.
fruition.
I think another thing about Halloween versus Christmas time
versus
is
Disney.
versus
Halloween or
Disney. Yeah, no,
Disney?
Halloween at Disney or Christmas time at Disney is, I think Halloween they really go out in like Main Street and the Haunted Mansion, but when they go to Christmas, it becomes almost everywhere is now decorated.
Mhm.
It
It's
feels
neat.
much more feels of the spirit. California Adventure has it. I also think you go to Florida as well. It's everywhere there. Like it just
Mhm.
overtakes the park. So
Yeah.
it really
it's neat.
becomes what
Yeah,
the park.
it's that immersiveness
yeah.
that you don't really
Yeah.
get anywhere else
Correct.
as much.
So with that,
get into
why don't
it.
you start us off on number
Yes.
5 for Disney
Yeah.
holiday? Top
And
5
again,
Disney
just
holiday.
disclaimer, I don't have many experiences at World, so I apologize for people. Maybe this will inspire people to want to come
Maybe
to
I'll make
Disneyland.
up for it. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I have well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, we have not discussed this beforehand. We're finding out
And this is
live.
and this is everything Disney. This isn't restricted necessarily to the parks, although I have a feeling it's going to be fairly park heavy.
That's my
Okay.
And being an annual pass holder the past few years has made me love so many things about the parks
Sure.
at Christmas time, starting with the decorations of Cars Land and Radiator Springs and what they do to that section of the park, which when I first had an annual pass did not exist. So it was really fun. And then I took some time off and came back to my annual pass holdership. And to experience that for the first time at Christmas, the way they've strung up the lights, they've decorated the cozy cones.
It's really cute.
It is. I mean, from top to bottom. I love the card it's a giant greeting card that you can snap a photo in front of that says Cars Land, and that suddenly becomes like, I think it says like Season's Greetings or something.
It becomes like snowed a little bit or something.
And covered in snow.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's definitely like, then you take a picture in front of it and it's very clear like you were there.
And they have that car
during the
covered
holidays.
in snow in front of it too, right?
The little snow cone?
Yeah.
Or he looks like a snow.
Yeah, something like I can't remember a picture, but he's covered in snow, and they have the tires as the
yes,
wreaths.
the tires hung up as wreaths.
And the holiday trees are like
they just take that Cars theme and translate it into
wonderful.
Everything festive. Yeah.
It's great.
They play Christmas music. With that that same like Route 66 twang, like it's still like very specific Christmas music that they've chosen for that area.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really
top to
nice.
bottom.
I mean, it's the
win-win.
The theme of that is great in and of itself. But when the holiday time, they really add the nice holiday flavor. I wish they did that level of detailing everywhere in every land of every park. They don't do it. It's probably not. You go to Paradise Pier, it's not quite as much as decorated as much. Well, but they could make it.
Paradise Pier has always been kind of.
Well, I know you feel
struggle.
that way, but it doesn't mean they can't. They could put. This is going above and beyond, but they could put big like wreaths or something on the California Screamin', and they could.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I wonder if there's a thought behind that. Like, some people came, and this is when they're coming.
I think they only have so many people and so much of a budget to do everything.
But they really put a lot into specific areas.
Absolutely. So
but it pays. It pays off in Cars Land. And
Cars Land was
because of it makes my list.
Yeah, Cars Land is not on my list. I thought about it. It definitely was honorable mention material. There's a lot of honorable mentions for sure, but that's
so your number 5.
My number 5 is, we're going away from the parks here initially, but I went on a holiday cruise on Disney Cruise Line a few years back. I talked about this in the previous episode. And
this is your only Disney cruise you've done.
Yes, it's the only one I've done.
It was a holiday.
It was during the week of Christmas, actually, and it was so cool to be in this warm weather. We're in California or Florida often for the holidays, but tropical, really tropical, and you have the big Christmas tree in the lobby of the atrium of the ship. You have the characters decked out in
their
holiday finest. They have just that Christmas Eve meal, and you're on a cruise ship, and I was with family who my immediate family, and then my wife's family who I love. They're wonderful, and just had a great time.
It sounds like they do what they do in the parks, decoration wise, to the cruise ship. That they kind of transform it, because this isn't a holiday cruise ship year round.
They had a big gingerbread house in the atrium as well, and they handed out gingerbread cookies, sugar cookies.
Do all the details. Yeah,
it was like an extension of being in the park, but on a cruise ship, and it was everything that's good about the holidays.
Disney
for hopefully most people, which is which the smells and the taste and spending time with family, relaxing, having fun, and it was all tied together so nicely on the cruise ship. And that was really a lot of fun for me. So it's my newest holiday experience on this list, I would say. So
a lot of mine are new.
Yeah, I guess they're all relatively new, but these are the ones that that's probably the newest memory or tradition I've come across. So you're number 4.
My number 4, some more park decorations that I love, that it's just not the same the rest of the year without these decorations. And that would be the lighting and exterior of It's a Small World during the holidays. Did I steal one?
Yeah, it's a great It's a huge one for me. Yeah, I love it.
I mean, this was one, again, having never gone to the parks at Christmas time. So I grew up knowing It's a Small World in Magic Kingdom. And then the first time going at Christmas, and then right when when it's dusk and they turn on those lights, it is floor to see. I mean, like every inch of the outside of It's a Small World is covered in lights. It's gorgeous. It's stunning.
Yeah, I'll share my experience when I get to my
Okay.
list, because I don't want to talk but I have a very visceral, amazing reaction to it as well. So go ahead.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I mean, and that's kind of I just, and again, I was for the first time going to Disneyland as an adult and was still like taken aback
It's spectacular.
by the beauty of it. Yeah.
It's absolutely spectacular. I don't want to be tempted to talk too much about it now.
All of this
but
is
I
getting
agree
me
with you.
so excited
Yeah,
now. I'm like, I gotta plan. When am I going?
Yeah,
First
well,
week
I
of
have to
December.
plan. Yeah, it's amazing. It really is amazing, and I don't. And the ride, I will say this real quick before moving on, unless if you're not done. But the ride, I actually like the ride better when it's the Small World Holiday versus the regular ride.
There's something about the.
It's not as repetitive to me. Maybe it's only for a couple months, so maybe the rest of the time of year it's the same old thing. But there's something neat and special and just better to me about it at holiday time, the ride itself. So, but I'll talk a little more about it.
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah.
So.
And I was just going to clarify for people that are interested or want to know the dates. Christmas or the holidays will officially commence on November 13th and will go through January 6th of next year. That's your 60 days of
so
Christmas and holidays.
So whenever
in the
you're
park.
listening to this, that's your window. Get there. So right.
Get in your car.
Yeah.
Plane, train. Get on your boat.
Automobile. You missed. Plane, trains, automobiles. John Candy,
Nope.
Steve Martin
I'm replacing that with a boat. I said
Okay.
get in your car,
Okay.
first of all.
You know that movie, right? Planes,
Yeah, but I
Trains-
said car,
Okay.
and that is an automobile, right?
Yeah.
I do know that movie.
Yeah. Okay. I just checking. There's a movie we talked about recently. You didn't know. I was saddened, but
Which one?
I can't
was
remember.
that?
I can't remember. But if I think of it, I'll bring it
Yeah,
up.
I'm sure you will.
So my number 4, I really struggle with this number 4. It's interesting because I went back and forth between two, and I ultimately decided on Nightmare Before Christmas, and
That's your number 4.
that's my number 4. It won over. It won over. I want to throw a movie thing in there, movie memory sort of thing, or how I associate it. And the other one potentially was going to be Frozen, which I know, right? I knew that.
Frozen Fever, you mean?
Frozen, for the movie Frozen.
I was
Frozen,
thinking in the parks. Oh, yeah.
Frozen didn't make my list, but Frozen as a holiday, it came around the time when I went on the holiday the cruise as well.
It is a Christmas.
It was so popular. I have such
overdone.
positive memories. I agree, but I have memories with my kids, loving it, singing it.
Yeah.
But that's not on the list. I'm just saying that I thought about it. But Nightmare Before Christmas, the movie is not
You're saying the movie right now.
The movie and how it ties into the park, how it ties into the Haunted Mansion.
So you're doing
sort of
2.
No, not really. It's Haunted Mansion.
So is it the movie or the ride?
I'll say the ride then.
Okay.
It's the ride, but it ties into the movie. The movie is not necessarily my favorite thing, but what Disneyland has done is establish this. They've made the Haunted Mansion this cool, completely game-changing, almost overlay. It feels like such a different ride in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
My Haunted Mansion, the Nightmare Before Christmas was a fine movie. When I saw it the first time, I thought it was okay. I didn't love it as much, but I think the myth of the Nightmare Before Christmas has grown for me through the Disney marketing machine, through the Haunted Mansion holiday with Jack Skellington, and it's become much more a bigger part of the holiday season for me as it would have before they did that. So it goes along with my love for the Haunted Mansion. I love the regular Haunted Mansion, but it's nice to change it up. It's something I also share with my family. My daughter loves the Haunted Mansion holiday. I love the smell of the gingerbread when you go in there and you see the different gingerbread house and the decorations they have on the outside. It looks like a different place. It's so cool, and it's outside of the main street where the pumpkins all are. That's the part that screams to me Halloween time at Disneyland, and I love that association with it. So that's a big one for me.
It's on my list, so I'll talk.
The haunted holiday mansion. The Haunted Mansion holiday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
So we're more crossover.
I know.
Crossover. So, but
it's
that's
not my
one,
number
yeah.
3.
Okay.
So you want me to go ahead on into
that?
that?
So you go to your number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
My number 3 is Sleeping Beauty's castle and how it's decorated.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Okay.
So we are boring this time, huh?
Or we just these things resonate, and I think
it's that collective.
Most people would say going into the parks these are like can't miss experiences that stand out and
I
stand
think
the
it's
test of
I,
time.
I think
and
it's the
blah, blah,
collective.
blah.
What we talked a little bit ago about the icon of Christmas time in Southern California is Disneyland, and that's the one of the most iconic things is that castle.
Well, and as two pass holders here who go to the parks regularly, there's something about going and the castle suddenly has been transformed, and you're like, oh yeah, it's Christmas, it's the holidays, like this is real, and that's evidenced by the fact that the entire castle is drenched in lights, and they change it up year to year. Specifically, or I know they've done things maybe in the past I've seen in photos. But yeah, the lighting of the castle, the lighting ceremony every evening, and with the snow and the music, White Christmas usually, or is, and I remember the first time my first year out here as a pass holder. I remember when it started snowing and the music. My friend was like recording me freaking. I was like, this is amazing. It just was so magical. And being away from home, you felt like that Christmas spirit. I felt like it was almost Christmas and I was going to see my family, and it was just like a really neat, I don't know. That's like what the parks can do to you.
Right, absolutely.
It's magic.
Yeah, I'm gonna save it for my thoughts on it later, but
well.
I agree. Maybe not as
story as moving a story.
story.
I know my story was really
story
powerful.
is too strong of a word for my feelings, but I definitely have some significant thoughts for me on that. So
your number 2?
my number 3.
Oh, number 3.
My number 3.
Oh,
You went first.
3 left.
You went 3 on
okay.
this one, right?
Oh.
So this is a Disney World thing. I guess it could tie into Disneyland as well, but Disney World, the Disney hotels that are decorated for the holidays. One of the things I've said that I appreciate more about Disney World than Disneyland, they're both great in their own way, is the unique personality of each of the resort hotels that they have there.
Sure.
And holiday time is absolutely like the best time that they each shine. And I will highlight a couple of them. The first is Disney's Grand Floridian Resort. They have the giant gingerbread house, the giant Christmas tree. I think they sometimes even might have carolers in there. I'm not sure. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's so cool to see. And the smell of the gingerbread house and the decoration. I actually stayed at the Polynesian my first time going to Disney World. We've talked about this in a previous podcast. One of my best memories of the holidays at Disneyland is that when I was really young, my first time, I remember going to bed on Christmas Eve, and I grew up Jewish, so we didn't really celebrate Christmas, but I woke up the next morning and on our door was hung a Mickey stocking, kind of mesh stocking that was filled with hard candy. And as a 5 or 6 or 7-year-old kid, whenever I was there,
magic.
That was like, oh my gosh, Mickey left this year. Like I thought Mickey, and it was candy, my favorite thing in the world. And I remember that the Polynesian, it was like so cool.
I have to say, they would not do that today. I mean, that feels like a very like a throwback thing that I could definitely see them doing still up to like the 90s, but being like budget wise, or like all the restrictions with kids and candy and allergies. There's just we have so many like 21st century problems that people like that
but do you
feels,
think
it feels like a magical thing, like stuck in time that will never happen again.
Do you think they do it because of that, or because it's not cheap anymore to do that for everybody?
All the above.
Yeah.
But it probably wasn't cheap then.
No, I guess not.
Maybe there are more people that go now, but they charge more per ticket. So like it all translates.
We have memories. We have memories of childhood, and I have a lot of good memories of childhood. But that one right there is one that very much sticks in my head. I just get warm feelings when I think about that. And I was at the Polynesian.
I just don't see them doing that. Maybe that's
or
my
you're paying
inner
for
Scrooge.
It. You're paying for it if you.
You can get a package and the parents have to sign up for it.
Sure.
But yours didn't. You've asked them, like that was entirely.
I didn't check my parents, but I'm pretty sure that entirely. I don't think my parents would have paid for it. So, the Disney Beach Club has a gingerbread carousel in the lobby, which I've seen, was really cool many years ago, but it's very, very cool. And also the Disney's Grand California, not to leave Disneyland out of it, they have this huge Christmas tree in there, and it's so it's very like
But Grand California Christmas is neat.
the lobby is really neat.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just a stunning
the
lobby.
resorts are so cool. They're so. I would recommend if you're in Walt Disney World, especially, go take a day, take a half day, a break from the parks. Go visit a handful of the hotels and just bask in the beauty of the lobby and how they have it decorated, different themes from each place, and the trees and the houses, and just it's so cool.
I would just say for World too, if you're going to World, stay on a Disney property.
I feel that way. I feel that way about
at
any
Land
time of year.
though. It's like it's for the price and bang for your buck. It's
Sure.
like maybe if you want to cut back, I wouldn't fault you for that. But at World, any family, any budget, stay on the property. Yeah. I mean, and as a child, I remember that feeling such a difference that like the shampoo bottles were themed to our hotel and had like Mickey and Minnie on them. I remember like hoarding them afterwards, and just everything reminded you that you were in this like place that you weren't leaving at night just because you were going back to sleep at your hotel. You were still at Disney.
Right. Well, that's what Disney World does well.
That's
and at the holidays, it's even better.
Oh yeah,
that's their strength.
Level.
I think that's their biggest strength of Walt Disney World. When I'm talking about the two, that's something that I don't think Disneyland can
fast
replicate.
Food chains in your sight line.
Yeah,
you're not in
wonderful.
the U.S. anymore. You're in Disney World.
Right, and that's the good thing about it. So that's my number 3. Your number 2.
My number 2, as per mentioned by you before, is the Haunted Mansion transformed into the Nightmare Before Christmas, and this is only at Disneyland and Tokyo Disney. So I think it's really neat that it wasn't even offered to me if I had, and we did go during Halloween one time, as I mentioned, to World, and I would not have even gotten to experience it because it doesn't exist there. But I love the Haunted Mansion ride, love it. It's definitely a favorite for just being a classic ride from my childhood that I grew up knowing. But I prefer it as Nightmare Before Christmas. And I like
why is that?
I'm not big into the movie is like so for me.
The Haunted Mansion movie?
The
Nightmare Before Christmas.
The Haunted Mansion movie is it's
not even worth mentioning.
Oh my gosh, it's burned in my memory being in the theater seeing it because I remembering like, when is this going to end? And that's very rare that I just remember sitting there watching it. No, Nightmare Before Christmas movie is I'm like lukewarm on it, but I have fond memories of one of my brothers was obsessed with it when we were kids, like obsessed. He had a jack that he like ran around with that was stretchy, and my mom was kind of not feeling Tim Burton and like the energy of the movie, and was like kind of embarrassed that he liked it so much, and he just ran around like quoting the movie.
A little too dark and satanic.
Too
perhaps.
Dark for her. Yeah. Because it's a very dark movie, especially for a quote unquote
creepy
Disney film for kids. It's Tim Burton. What are you going to do?
The imagery, I love the imagery of it. It's just the story, the flow didn't. I feel a little bit like you do, but I love the look of it. The look of it.
And I love the music, and just the fact that from the second you step through the gates, it's a different ride. I think there's just something about it's like you see the bones of the old ride, no pun intended. And then, but there's this from the stretching room on, and the second you get in the carriage, I love that it's entirely transformed, and you see all the moments from the movie. It's just really neat, and it's neat that reverse. We've talked about movies being transformed into film, and to see rides being transformed into movies. To see a movie then in the reverse, and you're suddenly like, oh, the movie came first. I think they started doing.
I think they do that. They do that a lot more now, though. I think going to movie to ride happens a lot more often than it did back then.
Right.
But what's cool about it is they go movie to an overlay of a classic ride, which is a pretty daring thing to do. I mean, Haunted Mansion, the original, is a classic, and to take the steps to put this Haunted Mansion Nightmare Before Christmas over, it was a pretty big step.
It's a lot of work too. Yeah. Every year they close the ride down for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, but I think most people would say.
It's worth it.
That they like it.
Yeah.
Most people say they like it.
For sure.
Which you're not always, people are going to rally against, it's a classic, how can you do that? But they've done something right.
Love for it. Yeah. I think, and I think saw somewhere it started in 2000 or 2001. So it's been going on now.
I think this is
about
I want to say the
15 years?
15th year. A
Yeah,
couple years ago, they did a 13th
2000.
anniversary.
Oh, okay.
And I believe they did.
Oh, that makes sense.
Was
the
it
13th.
Yeah, the 13th. Did they do the gingerbread house that had doors open, like a kind of a nativity? I don't know nativity, but they had
Oh.
doors open 13 and different Jack
That's cool.
Skellington faces, if I remember correctly.
I
It was
mean,
a couple years ago.
the things they think of, it's
Yeah,
incredible.
it's really neat. I love the gingerbread smell.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Oh
so
my
cool.
gosh.
And I think the graveyard
I wish
looks
they, like,
so
handed
different.
you gingerbread as you got
Yeah,
off.
wouldn't that be
'cause you're,
great?
like,
Oh,
tempted.
boy, that would
But
be great.
again, that would be like an 80s, 90s
Sure.
move. They wouldn't do that now.
Yeah, and I love the
Allergies.
the graveyard scene is so changed with the big snow
Yes.
angels. It just
I
looks
love
so
the
different.
big the sculpture that goes up, the sloping.
Like the
it's
snow
got-
angels, right? Or the
No, but this is just the biggest, like right behind all the popping
Right.
the popping fellas.
Right.
They have the big like mountain.
I gotta look
Snow
for
mountain.
it. I gotta look for it
Yeah,
because I
with
think
all
of this.
the like skeletons stuck into it.
I'll look for it. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes,
Yeah.
I know exactly.
I
Yeah,
remember
it's
the first
cool.
time I went on it, I like
Yeah.
snuck a photo of
No,
that.
it's so
from years
cool.
back,
How dare
yeah.
you? Yeah,
I think it's still on my Instagram from like 4 years ago.
It's very cool. It's very cool. We're in agreement on that.
Yeah.
So okay,
Look at that.
yay. How about
so
this?
your number
My number
two.
two is we talked about this, and I number one and number two could have switched back and forth. Frankly, it's a small world holiday for me.
Okay.
I had just moved out here several years ago and didn't really know anything of the decorations and what they do, and they've been lighting up It's a Small World for a long time now. And when I walked upon it, it blew me away just to see it like that. Flash forward to several years later, I'm with my daughter. I don't think my son was born yet, and we come across It's a Small World, and I'm reminded how spectacular that thing is. It screams holidays to me. It is absolutely probably my favorite facade of any holiday ride. It's so festive. It's so pretty. You think it's almost too much, but it's not. It just looks beautiful to me, and get me that with like a cup of hot chocolate and just stand and watch, just take it in. I literally have tried to sneak a minute or two.
Well, it's
here and there in the
special
crowd.
the theme of the ride is the unity of like the world.
Yeah, I mean,
and at Christmas time, and you just feel all of that tying in.
It's so amazing. If you just look at that the lights that they put, all those lights on there, and how it just you walk down that pathway and bam, it's right there, and there's really nothing else around there. It's a Small World building, and then nothing else. You got to look to the side to see anything else.
Tuned down.
It's I mean that you can't see that, right? Yeah. So it's just like it's just an amazing thing, and it's a very special time. I didn't get to the holidays last year at Disneyland. I missed it, and I really missed seeing that. I really missed having that time with my family in front of that, and just kind of taking a moment to take it in. I have a big reaction, a big happy reaction to the It's a Small World. So that's my number two, and it could have been my number one, frankly. Number one, number two are very interchangeable. Your number one.
Both of those. That's great.
Yeah, we're
Look
right.
at us.
We're all over this.
It's Christmas time.
Yeah, spirit, giving,
Yeah, the
sharing.
spirit of people coming
Let's
together
not
that usually
fight anymore.
disagree. Just for these 2 months.
Just for this
my
episode.
number one, and this actually we've discussed some in the past, your love of Muppets and me not appreciating them. And so I wanted to show just how much I appreciate
You didn't do
the
this
Muppets.
just for me, did you?
No.
Okay.
No.
God forbid.
I'm kind of
right?
using that as like extra, argument support, but I would have made it number one regardless, because in terms of Disney and holidays and our family tradition of watching this movie, which is The Muppet Christmas Carol, the 1992 film starring Michael Caine as Scrooge and Kermit as Bob Cratchit. That's my number one, hands down. We've had almost every many Christmases growing up. We would watch it on New Year's Eve, either that or It's a Wonderful Life, or both. And I've mentioned before, I'm not a huge Muppets fan. I don't know, it's just never connected for me. But that movie, the music in it and all the songs and the Muppets singing together is so funny. You have Gonzo and Rizzo narrating it, and they're hilarious, and they can't like, they're trying to like see into the windows and to spy on Scrooge and tell the story. And it's just, I mean, even just talking about it now, I'm excited to hopefully watch it again this Christmas.
Right.
So
that's nice. I
some
like that.
Muppets
Look
love.
at you. And you should go
It's my
back
number
and
one.
watch The Muppets because that came out, I think, around Thanksgiving or something
You mean
several years back.
go back and watch as in I've
2000
never watched it.
Yes, 2011.
Go watch it for the first time.
The really good Muppet movie that
right,
you know,
the
the
one with
Muppets.
Jason Segel and
Steven
Segel.
Steven Seagal was Steven Seagal in The Muppets. He's here to kick Muppets.
His brother Jason Segel was Jason Segel and Amy Adams. Right? Are you quoting the movie that I haven't seen that I can't even relate to?
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, no, I'm encouraging you to go see it.
I thought you were quoting it. I thought you were doing quotes. I'm like, I don't know.
No, it's just because I was thinking Steven Seagal when you said Jason Segal.
Okay.
You know who Steven Seagal is?
I know who he is, but I'm blanking now. But
okay. He's a big action hero.
Yeah.
From the 90s, I would say.
So I was a little bit. Like the name is ringing a bell.
Yeah, you'd know him probably if you.
But I know Jason Segel much
yes.
better.
Okay. All right. So good one. I like that. I approve.
Oh,
yes.
I knew you would.
Well, Muppets. I love the Muppets.
Right.
You know that.
But I think it's the best Muppets movie.
I mean,
but I haven't seen that many of them,
I know.
so I can't
I like it.
But it is a very good movie. Oh, and I real quick, before I forget, I was reading some trivia, and Michael Caine considers the role of Scrooge to be one of his most memorable to him. So it's like one of his favorite roles.
The role of
ever
Scrooge
played.
is in the Muppets.
In the Muppets, he hasn't played it in anything else.
Okay.
That I know of.
Well,
but no, specifically in this movie.
Okay.
Michael Caine, and you can tell in the performance, like he's really. Not that he doesn't usually give it his all, but he has a really memorable performance, and just does it so well from A to Z. The transformation of Scrooge.
Right.
Check it out if you haven't watched it.
I will.
Have you never seen it?
No, I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. No,
you should with the kids and the holidays.
There's so many movies I want to show the kids. That, of course, is one of them. But that's one I would have no problem.
Oh my
showing
gosh.
them. Anything.
And
they
use
Muppets,
a lot of actual Charles Dickens. Like they quote him by having the narrators.
Yeah.
Just to, I'm trying to throw in an educational element here. I don't know if it's relating for you.
I don't know whether perhaps my son is a little bit more energetic and doesn't sit still quite as much, but the Muppets don't quite connect. He liked the Muppets. He watched.
We have that in common.
But he's not. I feel like he has a harder time sitting still through the Muppets. Where my daughter seems to really love the Muppets. So I don't know.
I can hang with him. We can go watch A Bug's Life or something.
Okay. My number one is something we already talked about. And as I said, this is really interchangeable with It's a Small World. It's Sleeping Beauty's castle at Disneyland. The one in Walt Disney World, which is Cinderella's castle, is spectacular as well, mind you. I only say Sleeping Beauty's castle because that's kind of my home park. But I feel strongly about Cinderella's castle in Disney World as well.
Same. I've only seen pictures.
Okay.
Actually, we were there for New Year's Eve like 5 years ago.
So you've seen it.
And I don't know if decorations will still be up for the half marathon. They might have just gone down.
What weekend is it?
The second weekend in January.
Yeah, they probably just go down right before that.
Like the day after.
Yeah. Anyway, it's this speaks to sound like a broken record here, but the iconic nature of Sleeping Beauty's castle lit up with those icicle lights. I hope they do it this year with the decorations they have for the 60th anniversary.
I could see them kind of merging.
Yeah, maybe, but they got to do the icicle light. Got to have that. That'd be disappointing if they didn't have that. At this point, I don't know. We don't know if they're doing it, but it's just to walk down Main Street, which is already one of my favorite sections of the park, to see the castle, shining with those bright white lights. Yeah, nighttime.
It's all of this.
Yeah, nighttime
really
is
most relatable
important.
at nighttime.
Yeah, and there, it's very, very amazing and special to me. And once again, where I'm at now, I with my family, I enjoy kind of sharing it with my family, and it's really special to share with my young kids. And it's just something that I love doing, and it screams holiday time to me.
Beautiful.
Screams holiday time at Disneyland to me.
And the whole ceremony of lighting it is an occasion.
Yeah,
I love that Disney
cool.
isn't just like turn the lights on.
We don't always make it. We don't make a special. We don't generally make a special appointment to watch that ceremony, frankly, but we've seen it. We have caught it.
And
so
it snows.
And it snows. It's cool. It's totally
Southern
cool.
California style.
It snows during the
foam that melts away.
It snows during the fireworks too, although I don't know that I don't think they're changing the fireworks
during Let It Go.
Yeah, but I don't think they're changing the fireworks.
Yeah, so
we'll
get
talk
into
about that
some in the holiday preview of what's changing because of the 60th and what's not.
Right. So anyway, so that's a really big one. We've talked about that. I also would like to give an honorable mention to I don't know if I call it subtle, but New Orleans Square has a lot of Mardi Gras kind of holiday decorations strung up around, and it's has these gold stars hanging and these things, banners and banner streamers, whatever they're called. It's really cool if you go back there. It's just it's louder and crazier, and Buena Vista Street is nice.
Oh,
and
yeah. Buena Vista would be on my honorable mention.
Right, and then I don't want to get into too much because we'll talk about. But there's a lot of other things.
All
there,
of the decorations.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So
they don't mess it up.
We'd love to hear your top 5, right?
Yes,
at the Disney Click.
Your top 5 Disney holiday, what have you?
Disney holiday.
Your Disney holiday. At the Disney Click on Twitter and Instagram, and use the hashtag top 5 Disney Click. We're working on a copyright or trademark.
Right. Once again, because nobody's ever done a top 5. But
Top
it's not the
5
Disney Click.
Click.
I know. Like giving Ryers a hard time. We've just broken the holiday spirit a little bit there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Scrooge is back.
I'm sorry. Who's Scrooge?
You are, obviously.
No. Anyway, let's move on to the holidays around the world. Or around Disney.
It's like, okay, yeah.
It's not holidays around the world. That's very big.
Around the world.
Let's go to Disney holidays.
I'm finding that really funny.
Disney holidays
around
the world. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with
holiday preview, which might include some other worldly things. I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, it's time for tips and tricks.
Okay, so now we have our holiday preview, and we're just going to look at the movies coming out this year, and then we're going to go a little more in depth talking about what's going on specifically in the parks with attractions, decorations, and food, and we'll kind of stay away as much as possible from things we've already discussed in our top 5.
Yeah, you have to listen to the top 5.
Go back and listen to the top 5.
Why aren't they mentioning,
if you skipped it.
Why aren't they mentioning It's a
castle.
Small World or the castle? Or that's why, because you're supposed to listen to the whole show. And the couple movies, there's not a lot of movies, but they're big ones coming.
Few. There's literally two. One for each of us.
Right. Well, so you want me to do the Good Dinosaur? I'm kidding. You do the Good Dinosaur.
I hate to steal your thunder and take a movie away from you. You love so much.
Well, I think we've talked about these so much that it's not hard. So.
I'll take the Pixar president badge over here, so I'll talk about the Good Dinosaur. I know, a second Pixar film in 1 year. What's happening? And that's coming out on Thanksgiving Day. And it's we were talking about this a little bit off recording about how this film, the only thing for me, I'm thrilled to have a Pixar film coming out, but it has a shaky backstory, you could say. The film was originally, I think, supposed to be released Thanksgiving of 2013, and then it was pushed back to last summer. It was supposed to be last year's movie, and then it finally got pushed back to after Inside Out. So I trust Pixar, and I mean, the reason they made all those changes every time was because they felt like the movie wasn't up to their standards.
And
so respect.
Animation's a little different than live action. I think animation can be saved because it's not like they're doing reshoot. I mean, they do
story. It's the story.
I think it's easier to make it right given delays. Where when I hear delays on something that's been shot or reshoot on live action, it's a little bit more troubling. So I'm not quite as worried about this one in that respect.
They had director changes.
Yes.
So it was always legitimate things happening. So that just has me nervous that it might not be, as exceptional as other Pixar films. But after Inside Out and going into that, and we had such high expectations, I feel like I'm going into this one just like, okay, it's a Pixar film. It's not Toy Story 4, so I can chill and I can just enjoy it. And I'm hoping this chill approach, I'll love it. But I've loved the trailers and everything I've seen. It's really unique, the twist that instead of like boy and his dog, it's dinosaur and his boy.
Right.
So the boy's kind of the dinosaur's pet.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, and we'll talk more in the future after we see it.
For sure,
we'll
I'll be going
Pixar and
over Thanksgiving
but
weekend.
I think we can agree that the event movie wise in Disney is going to be. Well, I think
Yeah,
this
they
is
each
pretty
have their
much-
own month.
Of
you
course,
know, so-
absolutely, and
or Star
the
Wars
Good
probably has
Dinosaur
its
probably
own
will probably
year,
do
it
very
feels
well,
like.
and hopefully it's really good. And I'm counting on it. But the Force Awakens is
that
the
aside.
thing. The Force Awakens
Yes.
is the thing, and what more can really be said about this? It opens December 18th. Tickets for showings on
Get
IMAX
your
and whatever
tickets.
have sold out.
Set
Now
records.
like 2 months in advance. We don't know a whole lot about this, but a lot of the old cast is back. The new people are coming into this. I mean, we've talked so much about this, and people are talking so much about it. I don't know that we need to go into too much, but we need to recognize that in case you missed it, there's a little thing called Star Wars coming in December.
And it is under the Disney umbrella.
Yes, absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely. Kidding me?
now that Disney owns Lucasfilm.
Yeah, it's certainly my most anticipated film for the rest of the year, and I think
Most
most people feel that way. So so we have that. So now we got the movies out of the way. Not that they're out of the way, we're looking forward to them. But we're gonna go back to the parks, I think, and I don't know the best way to do it. We've Disneyland and Disney World, but we're gonna start with attractions and how do we qualify? How do we say something's an attraction versus? Let me ask this: Disney Viva Navidad. Okay, I put that under attractions.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would.
That's the first
Parade.
place. Okay.
Well, it just doesn't fit under any of our other categories.
So that's the first thing I would mention about, because it's a little known thing
Viva
in
Navidad.
California Adventure, Disney's California Adventure. It is such a high energy, great performance that they do on the street. It's one of my favorite things.
It's a celebration of Latino holiday culture.
Yes.
Specifically for
and
people.
it's amazing. It's so energetic and so cool. I recommend, because I don't think as many people are seeing it as they should, because it's kind of tucked away in the back corner.
I've never seen it. I found out about it in my research.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No.
Oh, so you have to make sure you catch it.
Yeah,
it's
in Paradise Garden of California Adventure.
It's really good.
But what I read, they're like, it's a sleeper hit. Like what you're saying, people don't know about it, but it's incredible. I'm like, I gotta check this out.
If it were somewhere like on Buena Vista Street, somewhere where people kind of crossed more,
right.
I think it would get more. But since it's kind of tucked in the back of the park, give it a few years, and if it keeps on going, they keep building on it, it'll move to somewhere else maybe, because it's just
the one picture I saw online looked really
it's so cool. So I recommend that's my big kind of tip, or to recommend to people see during the holiday time. What's something else at the holiday time they can
under attractions? It hasn't been going on for long, and I didn't know if you knew about it, but the Jingle Cruise.
Yes, that's on my list.
Jungle Cruise transformed for Christmas, and I think I read that they're stepping up decorations even more. Like every year it's kind of grown a little bit. It started out as a small thing, and the queue is getting more decorated. Yeah, but I think they changed the jokes on the ride.
I hope they increase it, because it was a nice attempt at a little bit of an overlay,
reviews.
but it was a little bit half-hearted the first year. The second year I didn't go. I heard it was a little better on the second year. So I'm hoping this year they really make it feel like they put some effort into it. That's my hope. I love the idea. I want to see them do more overlays, frankly. And people might not like that idea that we're changing rides, but I think they're on the right track with doing an overlay on this. I'd like to see an overlay on a lot of other rides, frankly. I really would. I guess you think about what else I like to
there's
see,
so many things that like Jungle Cruise that are great rides, but kind of chill, and
I could see an overlay on Pirates of the Caribbean.
So much to like make them festive.
Big Thunder Mountain,
to have all like the pirates and all the skeletons dressed up with hats would be so funny.
So the Jingle Cruise, Jungle Cruise is something that something to look out for. I would also I think it's been announced, the Season of the Force. It's not a holiday thing, but I believe it starts in November.
Okay.
So Season of the Force in Tomorrowland is it's a big deal. The Hyperspace Mountain and the
Space Mountain will be
Hyperspace Mountain.
Right.
So that comes at holiday time.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So that's not exactly a holiday thing, but it is a holiday event.
So it will start on November 13th.
I don't know the exact date,
Okay.
but I'm pretty sure it starts in November, and I'm guessing it starts around then. So I don't have the exact date in front of me.
I also learned about more with research. I'm clearly not doing Disney Christmas right. The candlelight processional.
Oh, I thought you'd be all over this one.
I've never
seen it. I'm sure it's beautiful. I've heard wonderful things about it.
The photo was stunning. They have it right in front of the train station when you first enter the park, and it's been announced, I think, that this year it's going to be the first weekend in December, and it's only 2 nights.
They tried several years ago. They tried to do it. They did something like 10 or 12 and it was just a nightmare. I've probably stayed away from it, not because I don't think it'd be kind of cool to see, but it's such a crowd nightmare right there that it's not so important that I get there for the crowd.
It looked beautiful, but then I read that they said to get good seats, people grab their spots as soon as the park opens for the show. And I was like, the show's at night and the park opens at 9 a.m. So what? Like, I think it's something. It's like, maybe it's a family tradition. You just suck it up. But it looks beautiful. It's something they've been doing since 1958. So it sounds like there's a lot of like history there, and just like a really neat part of Christmas.
Not that it's not PC, but something that has it's a religious story. It's a tradition because they don't do a lot of things like that anymore in the park. So and I think it has its place in the park. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It sounds like a beautiful tradition for people. It's literally been happening
since the park was only 3 years old,
right?
Which is crazy to think about. Yeah.
So I think that's something that I was going to mention, but I think that's absolutely no, it's okay. There's also, I'll jump back over to California Adventure for the World of Color Winter Dreams. There's 3 different shows now that they have, and I hear they're mixing both of them. They're putting the new show one time, and they're doing the
new being the 60th.
Yeah, the 60th, and then they're doing the Winter Dreams, which is the one a little bit more frozen. I happen to be
they'll do 2 every night.
Yeah, I happen to be in the minority. I haven't seen the new World of Color show 60th with Neil Patrick Harris. I happen to be in the minority. I think I liked Winter Dreams. I think it's a little bit. You liked Winter Dreams. It's a little bit too much Frozen. It is a little bit too much Frozen.
It's a recap of the movie,
but they do these big snowflakes that kind of float into the air, which are really cool.
But I just want to clarify to people: there's a 3. There's a regular World of Color, a Christmas World of Color, holiday World of Color,
Winter Dreams,
right? And then the 60th anniversary World of Color,
right? And
which is
the latter
called
2 will
Celebrate,
right? Correct.
And so so just so people know, there are 3, and then the 2 special edition ones, you could say, will be running during the holidays every day.
And I once again,
I like the original, hands down, OG.
Yeah, and I haven't seen. The original is probably my favorite, but I also think that the Winter Dreams isn't as bad as people might have you believe. It's a lot of Frozen.
Very frustrated. When I saw it, I was like, I want the old one back. It's just so much Frozen.
It is.
And what's great about the original is how much they really cover, everything from live action. There's Pirates of the Caribbean in there. There's Pixar. There's old like, Ariel and Beauty and the Beast and stuff. So they cover everything, and they cover all the emotions.
This is a little aside. I tend to
Frozen.
think that of the new 60th anniversary offerings, I tend to think the Celebrate, is that what's called? The Celebrate.
Yeah.
That's the first one of the 3 that'll eventually be replaced sooner than later. I don't think people are loving it as much as
it feels short, or it doesn't feel like there's a lot of like substance to it. I love the beginning where they have Walt and he's talking, and I don't know. It starts out, but
so anyway,
loses steam.
Right. Do you have another one?
Wyatt, I read there's a holiday time at Disneyland tour, and that it sounded like a neat thing for people if they're looking for something a little different. And I have not done that, but I would definitely be into checking it out. I think you learn a little more about the history of maybe holidays in the park. So that sounded like a neat thing to do. Right.
And there's also, I assume it'd still be running, but maybe a Christmas Fantasy Parade. It's a long-standing parade that's really cute and sweet and really cool. It's been around for a long time. It might be
since
time
1994.
Yeah, it might be time for an updating or a new holiday parade. But it's a sweet parade. I think it's really
so that one's going to run during the day,
right?
And then they'll keep the
Paint the Night.
Paint the Night will still run at night for people that that want to experience the 60th.
Right, and also Snowfest is coming back from Disney California Adventure. It's where you can play in the snow, and there's I think Olaf is in that area and that sort of thing.
Part of Frozen Fever.
Yeah, but it's not they're not calling it Frozen Fever. I don't think they're just doing Snowfest within that building, and
like one of the 3 parts of Frozen
Yeah, I think
Fever.
so. I think so. So
well, the Frozen show is still going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I kind of want to see. I wanted to see.
I haven't seen it yet.
I wanted to see it. And last time I was there with friends, they
vetoed that.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, on to the next.
I'm kind of surprised you want to see that. With your.
I'm not like, hating it.
Right. Okay.
Frozen, that is.
Fair enough. So let's do you have anything else? Or Santa at Critter Country, as I say. You can meet Santa Claus at Critter Country.
Oh, yeah.
Just in case for those who want to meet Santa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good to know.
All right. So what about the decorations? We've talked a lot about the decorations.
We covered almost entirely.
Flicks Fun Fair holiday decorations are kind of cute.
I'm into that.
All right,
I'm into anything
look at you.
Bugs
I know
Life.
you are. They're kind of cute. It's once again, I will say that California Adventure does a nice job of decorating the park in a lot of places. It's not the whole thing.
It's just so spread out. When you're in that park, it just feels so open.
Well, it's more open than Disney. I like Disneyland better as a park, but one thing that California Adventure gets right is it's a lot more wide open. Yeah,
even
it's just
for me.
I don't. What's that? They're even for you?
Not dead even,
right?
But it's
okay.
A close second.
They both have their place, but I appreciate the space that you have in California Adventure.
Oh my gosh,
it's so much nicer to walk around in that park. It really is.
But yeah, the decorations on Buena Vista Street are great.
Really
which
nice.
we had mentioned, but worth mentioning again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we covered
Carolers in Buena Vista Street as well with the bell ringers. They're cute and fun. Yeah. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on as far as that. One thing I want to mention, if there's any decorations, I hope I didn't skip you, but there is a big tradition. I'm going on to food a little bit. We'll skip back and forth if I miss something.
I hope you didn't steal my food.
Oh, well, cane. The candy cane making is a big deal.
Handmade candy canes.
I wonder. I've never tried them myself, the freshly made one. So I am speaking from a place of little knowledge on this, but people get there early, get their tickets.
It's usually a 45-minute line, and these are $13 plus candy canes. I had no knowledge of this because I'm not as into the food scene as we've discussed, but I love some holiday food, and I was intrigued by that.
Would you line up early for this one to try it?
No, because I'm more of a chocolate person, so I'm going to line up for
you don't like candy canes.
The Yule log.
But the Yule log you can get
up my alley.
But the Yule log is it like freshly made or something, or
it sounds like it's a big event. There's one specifically for November and one for December.
Okay, I don't know much about the Yule log, so
this was more again.
I know the candy cane.
I had to research for food.
I know the candy, and there are places around town that you can get the candy canes. By the way, but it's supposed to be a thing. I just don't know that I'm going out of my way for this candy. Maybe I should, but I'm just not there.
I'm not a big candy cane person.
Right.
That's why.
Okay.
If it was like a chocolate fondue thing, I would wait.
Right.
I'd probably wait in line just to see what it's about.
Right. They also
45 minutes.
Yeah, that's a long time.
To just be handed. It's like, what's
freshly
taking
made
so long?
Cane? They're supposed to be spectacular.
But what's making the line so long? It's the transactions of people ordering.
I guess. I don't know. People swear by these things.
Crazy.
They swear by these things.
I'm sure they're good.
Sometimes I wonder how much is like hype and just the shared collective of saying, I got this candy cane, it's amazing, and how much is actual like taste. I don't know.
I feel the same way, but that's maybe like 15-minute line or something consistently. I don't know. But 45 sounds like maybe there is more to it.
Probably.
I don't know.
Believe me, I want to try it. I don't see myself getting there unless I happen to be down there that early. So. I
also found there's a peppermint stick ice cream with crushed candy cane waffle cone that's supposed to be a seasonal delight. Okay. That sounded good.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I'm not a big ice cream person. Honestly, chocolate. If you give me a chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, chocolate! I love chocolate. Chocolate chip cookies are not chocolate.
All I need.
You like chocolate cake or chocolate chip cookie?
I'll take chocolate cake, but
okay. I like chocolate chip cookies, but that's not chocolate. That's cookie with some chocolate sprinkled on it.
No, it's inside.
But I'm saying, but chocolate's an accent flavor to the chocolate chip cookie.
Okay, well, I love chocolate.
Right.
But chocolate chip cookie would be my number one.
Okay, that's one of my number one too.
Treat of
we're agreeing.
But my number one out of my top one. Like I don't have a top 5 list of desserts. Did you have any other?
Well, I should point out the Viva Navidad has a special menu.
At Paradise Garden.
Yeah, Paradise Garden, which is a lot of good
Paradise
good
Garden
things there.
Grill.
Yeah. So
and
that's
the Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta has a special seasonal menu.
There's a lot of
I
special
think they
seasonal
do that throughout,
cupcakes
I'm sure.
and that you see all the candy apples, the caramel
Disney
apples are
does
decorated.
Not miss an opportunity.
No, but they're really good at
detail.
that. They're really good at having those holiday. They do it at Halloween. They do it at the holiday time. So I would really recommend checking it all out. It's really beautiful. And when I go over the holiday times, and hopefully when Briars goes, we'll take some pictures and put it up on Twitter and
try
Instagram.
A Yule log. Go crazy.
Okay. You wow. Are you
we'll
feeling
see.
okay? You sure? Okay.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just get a chocolate chip cookie.
So can we go to Disney World here?
Yes, I don't
Okay.
have as much
No,
on world.
there's not as
'Cause
much.
I think it's a lot of crossover of what we've
Well,
talked about.
here's the thing. We talked about this, that Disneyland is much more a locals tradition kind of park. And I think Disney
Yeah.
World is a vacation destination, and they do holiday stuff there for sure.
Absolutely.
But it's not quite the same level.
Mhm.
I think that Disneyland really caters to
'Cause,
people who
they're
come
still
all the
catering
time.
to people coming, and that's their
Yeah.
family trip,
Correct.
and it's not just a holiday trip.
Right. So I'm gonna, if I may mention the one
go
thing.
for
This
it.
is the last year for the Osborne family lights at Hollywood Studios, which is kind of the last year. I don't. They haven't talked about
And
putting
I
it
know
anywhere
those
else.
lights. I love those
They're
lights.
beautiful, and people love those. And this
It
is
gives Hollywood Studios something to brag about for once.
for the construction, I assume.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they're gonna. They haven't announced that they're being relocated anywhere, so I don't know if they're coming back or not at this point. So that's
I remember
kind of big.
So those were still up. When we went for New Year's a few years back.
They're very cool.
And
it's
they
really
make
cool.
it snow over that.
Yeah, it's neat.
And the music.
And there's hidden
cool.
Mickeys in there and
And
stuff
you
like
can
that.
climb up on things.
The street?
Maybe we did. Maybe we broke rules. Okay,
yeah,
keep
I don't
going.
know about that. Maybe you can. I don't know.
They
It's
had
been a long time.
because it's kind of near like the Pixar section, and they had the toy soldiers, and we climbed up on some things to take photos.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe we were lawbreakers. Okay, moving on.
What else do you have?
No, next section. In Magic Kingdom, that's where they filmed the holiday special.
Yep.
And
Well, they do it at Disneyland and Disney World. I think they do
film
both.
one at both.
I think they do.
Because one's
bits and
televised
pieces.
on ABC.
Yeah, but if it's tape delayed. It's recorded.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's Magic Kingdom, because the castle for viewership, the camera adds £10.
Yeah, I don't know.
They want a big castle.
I'm not entirely sure about that.
But I read somewhere, I thought that this was the last year for that as well, or that's on the.
They're not going to do any sort of holiday parade.
The parade, the televised parade,
right?
was
Interesting.
ending. But again, I don't know.
Do parades have the same viewership that they once had? When I grew up, it was big. That Macy's holiday Thanksgiving parade was big.
Thanksgiving one has always dominated.
Yeah.
On Christmas, kids are busy opening their gifts. They're not going to be like, let's watch a parade. I don't know. I think kids these days too are so.
They'd rather be on the iPad.
They're going to go on YouTube.
Right.
They're not
kids these days, young whippersnappers.
Yeah, kids these days are the worst.
Right.
They don't watch parades. So I don't know. We have to check into that. But that's a big tradition too that we didn't talk about.
What about the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party? That's a big deal. A lot of people like to do that one.
It's kind of like the Halloween party where you can get special tickets. Yeah,
that sort of thing.
They have that in both parks.
No, they don't. They don't have it at Disneyland. It's only at Disney World. They don't have it ticketed.
Yeah, because I didn't. As a pass holder, never got information.
Yeah,
about
it's a special event. And they have the I think they have a special parade, and they hand out some treats and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty pricey privilege to do. But
Disney loves.
Yeah, they love the ticketed
the
event
elite
now.
moments.
But a lot of people do. They sell out regularly, and I'd like to do that. I would take my kids to, especially if I were not an annual pass holder, to Walt Disney World, and I wasn't going that day. Let's say I just wanted to take them into the park at night, because that's when I want to be there at nighttime.
When you're paying too to have a little bit better crowd situation.
Yeah, I imagine
that's worth it.
I imagine it's still fairly crowded, but
holidays.
not as bad. The Halloween parties at Disneyland, at least, are incredibly crowded, even though they're a ticketed event.
Really?
It's not. I mean, it's better. It's better, but they're still very crowded. So it's not as much of a break as you might think. What else? What else do we have at Walt Disney World?
I know. I mean, Epcot.
Yep, I was going to get to Epcot.
Has a lot of holiday moments
around
the world.
The holiday storytellers is really a nice thing, right? Do you read about that? Have you seen
no,
it?
no.
So they have various storytellers from the various countries telling the holiday traditions from their countries. So it's really kind of nice to know that the holiday traditions we experience in America are not the same that they might experience
it's great for kids.
in
it's educational.
China or or Canada or whatever. That's
and they all
cool.
have different names for their Santa. This is taking me back to when we had Brian on and his stories of playing. He called him something. He didn't call him Santa.
Right, it was Saint Nick of some sort.
Yeah,
right?
That was a
right.
great story. And being on live on air in Florida.
It was funny when he talked about that. But there's also, and so you have that. I love the World Showcase. I know you don't love it quite as much as I do, but I mean, at World Showcase to me is the future world is whatever. But they also have Illuminations, Reflection on Earth. They have a special Peace on Earth holiday ending, that sort of thing. They do these great things, and it's really really kind of cool to see. And it's a special place in my heart going there. I was there New Year's Eve, the year after I got married, and it just poured down raining there, and they still played Illuminations, and it was just we were soaked. But I just remember watching it, and you could barely see anything, but you could see the globe, and you could see the Peace on Earth, the holiday thing I think they did. I'm pretty sure it was there that year.
Did it.
What's that?
Way to go, Disney! I love that they still did it.
Yeah. I don't know how many the fireworks.
See,
more
they're
lasers
probably more used to working through rain conditions
than we
that's
are
part
in
of the
California.
deal in Florida. And out here, they people lose their minds.
For sure. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It really just this talking about this stuff makes me want to be there,
it's
right?
exciting.
It's almost here. It's all just about here, right?
So close.
Yeah.
It's weeks away.
Yeah. Not even when you hear this, it's gonna be basically almost here. All right.
If you're listening to this,
yes,
get in your car
and go now.
Go.
I don't know that it'll be. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, very close.
Almost there.
Days
very close.
away.
We can agree it's very close.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait.
Yeah, November 13th.
I don't know when I'm going. I will be at Disney.
November 13th just screams Christmas to me. I don't know about you.
September 2nd screams Christmas to me. Right?
Yes,
yeah.
that's a big holiday. Yeah.
So
I always eat a Christmas chocolate chip cookie on that day.
And not a candy cane. Not a freshly baked candy cane, apparently.
No, they're too expensive. $13
Splurge
for a candy
little bit
cane.
Here, right? Yeah. Okay. So I think, was there anything else, or
I'm sure there's other things we missed because Disney just
every
little nook and cranny they find a way to squeeze in.
I think we covered a lot of. I think we covered a lot of things, and although it's early, we've still ways away to get to Christmas and New Year's. Everybody enjoy this. Have a happy holidays.
Yeah, for sure.
And let us know.
Feliz Navidad.
Yeah. Let us know. What you like about the holiday.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of as many.
Anything
Joyeux
else?
Noel. I'm done. I'm out. I quit.
What about
Merry Christmas?
Have you done French?
I didn't do English.
You done
Joyeux Noel.
Okay, I didn't sure. Yeah, my French.
There's your French.
There you go.
Do Spanish?
Feliz Navidad.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did
that
it. What have we not done that you know? I covered them.
You covered it. That's it. There's no more Merry Christmas or Happy New Year's going on there. So happy holidays, everyone. Yes. Happy early holidays. We'll be back before the holidays.
Navidad.
But enjoy your time at the parks.
Be safe. I feel like this is a public service announcement. Be safe. Make sure you always ride with a friend in the car.
Don't drink and drive.
Yeah, if you're going to Epcot.
And have a magical week.
Yes, and a magical holiday season.
Something like that.
Gotta get the last word in. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
The Disney Click is a Meltdown Presents production. Produced by Terri Lubaroff and Mason Booker. Audio engineer, the miracle worker, Mason Booker. With your hosts, Rick Lubaroff and Briars Newman. Our theme song, King of the Swingers, is performed by the Swing Ninjas and provided by freemusicarchive.org. Jazzy Frenchie is our break music and can be found on bensound.com. End credit music Dill Pickles is performed by the Heftone Banjo Orchestra and provided by freemusicarchive.org. Don't forget to tweet us at The Disney Click. You can also follow us on Instagram at The Disney Click. Use the hashtag Top5 Disney Click to share your own Top 5.